What's in the box? This is the second half of my initial collaboration with JP Fans, a middleman service who worked with me on a short you might have seen where I discussed not only how to use their site, but also, in general, how to search for some popular toy line terms in Japanese websites, be they Mercari, JDirect, or Amazon Japan, or other ones, using a combo of kanji and katakana to better find what you're looking for. I mentioned a rare bird was on the way, and as you can see, that bird is very grand. As JP Fans kindly provided me with a bit of site credit for my site wallet to use on their site as part of this collaboration, I topped it up a little bit and went digging to find a used copy of the Gatai Grandbird. Why? Because Grandbird is way harder to find than Firebird in my experience, and I wanted to find one with a ding on the box, and I did. This top left corner, as highlighted on the Mercari page I ordered it from, is dinged, and that meant that the price of this was the lowest I have seen for a Grandbird in a while. I mean, I'm no expert, but like, I look every now and then, because I keep hearing that the Firebird duo are kind of like the first big moment for Godbrave Studios' Yusha projects with Good Smile Company. Actually, I hear Seven Changer is also a big moment, but like, there's no Gatai on Seven Changer. I want Gatai. Since this is something that has been opened before, let's take a look and make sure everything is inside. JP Fans did provide a photograph, several photographs of the piece when it arrived at their warehouse, and there were photographs from the Mercari page as well, but now it's here in Canada. So let's make sure everything's in here. Looks like everything's in here. This is a very dense tray. JP Fans also covered the shipping of this, for full disclosure, but they provide several shipping options on their website. I know because I looked before they told me how they were going to do things for this collaboration. And they offer the usual selection, the usual suite of shipping options. It is my understanding that this all works for Americans right now. Obviously, y'all's situation is very random, seemingly, and horrible. But it should, if you can use like a courier, if you can use EMS, it should all work out. I'm not sure if you're paying tariffs and customs up front now. Welcome to Canada's life since I was a teenager, I guess. But also, why should things always get worse rather than get better? Either way, nothing's worse when I've got a big hunk of Yusha, space shuttle, and other various bits. I wonder what some of these are for. So I'm going to continue this Voxshredding by getting this guy out of the tray, and in order to do that, we're just gonna briefly hop on over to the other set and continue this video live, pre-recorded, but now you're seeing it after the fact. Hold, you mean they don't lay everything out with 6 inches of space between each piece on one layer? I know. I mean, that's why they're called Good Smile Company and not Bad Smile Company, am I right? Whoa, okay, there's a very Obari blade. Then we've got another breast. So we had the fire breaster, and then this is the breaster jet. This is the jet that breasts. Remember that. Boober jet. Happy to announce my new aerial rideshare service, Boober jet. Also, I just gotta say, even though this thing is secondhand, I don't think anyone ever took the nipple out. Like, I can't tell where this tape would have been pulled from. We have freed the nipple. This is the same little nipple guy, I believe. He still is double jointed in the middle, so he can still Obari somewhat. They still had the bags on the winglets and everything. For springing with the... sorry, hang on a second. We gotta couch this one a bit better. Oh, hey, we have a question from the chat for Springin, asking, tell us, internet personality Vangelis, does JP Fans have its own storefront, or does it redirect you to the main sales sites and act simply as a proxy? Thank you for your content. What a great question, chat user Wire Springin. I can answer that actually with some veracity. Let me just pick up this plastic bag that fell on the floor. So they have their own site that can search other sites like Mercari, JDirect, Amazon Japan. Each item page has a button that says, I forgot what it says now, but you click that button, it sends you to the actual source page it is drawing from. So JP Fans is its own site, its own storefront that pulls in data off of, say, a Mercari listing, and then has a button that says something like see original page, see original product listing, etc. Then you can go look at that too, run your own translate on that if you don't want to fully just rely on the auto-translate that is available via a button click on the JP Fans version of the page, etc. Oh, hang on, we got another question from the chat. Sorry. Oh, hang on, we've got another question from the chat. User We're Sprangen asking, hey internet personality, Chris Vangelis Ho, how does JP Fans handle the troubles of shipping to the United States? Well, that's a great question. I'm from Canada, so I don't know. That's where we put in the funny cut, right? But I have noticed, through the experiences of other users on the site, like Dom Jake or Collection DX, in their videos, that the current shipping options available seem to integrate quite happily with the United States of America. Those include things like courier services, or even, I think, EMS. Are you sure you don't mean ECMS? You know what? I might. I don't know. It's always been EMS to me. I think it was ECMS. By the way, I do have the instruction booklet, and this thing is really, like, actually hefty. Also, you got a free shot of my knee there, so, you know, first one's free. Pay me for the next one. Anyway, we're out of that stream. We're gonna talk a little bit about what came in the box, because this thing is hefty and is more impressive as a standalone piece than I was expecting it to be. Number one, up here in front, I got to show you that there is a little aforementioned from the stream clips Nipple Man, who can ride in the cockpit as long as you have the top up. Now it's a space shuttle. That is a bit of a risky maneuver to pull, and there is room for a friend if you have, say, a second little nipple guy. We're focusing on just the standalone package, though, so we'll close that one. And in fact, we're also going to take him out and close this one. And just for the sake of not having this chasm there the whole time, let's skip ahead a little bit, fold him in half, and stick him in here in nipple mode, so he fills that chasm smoothly. It's like he was never out of there in the first place. Almost said like he was never there. He clearly is there. It's almost like you never could remove him. You gotta just flick him out. It doesn't have a cool mechanism to come out like on Firebird's Blue Jet, but regardless, you can also flip up some landing gear. I think this is actually plastic. I almost said metal because I'm a fool. It's plastic. Is this, no wait, is this piece metal? If I wipe this on the front of my lip, could I? No, we're just gonna fold it away. And just show you that this is a swoopable fire shuttle. There are two large guns on the side, so this is not some kind of disguise, unless the disguise is to be a heavily armed, perfectly normal space shuttle with two big golden kneecaps on the top. And there is also the little pal here, the breaster jet? Which breast is this? It is the breaster jet. The fire breaster is the other one. And so there's a little cockpit here. You can imagine someone flying this thing around. It's a, you know, aerodynamic plank with 12 missile pods, or 2 pods with 12 missile slots on the top, and a completely inconspicuous red block. What's interesting is if you fold this thing down and then up like that to lift it a bit, and if you flip down the tail fin back here, you can take the breaster jet and quite firmly clip it into place onto here, and it will not come off. I actually have trouble getting it off after I do this, but this is the fully armed fire shuttle, and then to get this thing off, it is quite literally difficult because it's clipped on very tightly, but the clipping is all right here, so I just kind of wiggle and pull, and then that will come off of there, and then get this back into position to be used as a breast someday in the future. There are two guns that don't have anywhere to live on the shuttle here. They don't. I kind of wish they did. It's one of my few major critiques about this piece as a solo contained package. So just forget about those. This thing doesn't have hands or arms or anything, so I don't know what we would ever need all these spare hands for. And I'll just get this out of the way. there's a bag of stuff here that we're not going to talk about. And there's a thing back there that we're not going to talk about because it's unrelated to the experience of Grandbird. That said, the experience of Grandbird involves transformations. Let's quickly turn this into a bipedal guy and then talk about him when he's got a face. What a handsome boy, what a handsome Obari boy, this robot Obari handsome boy here is. Very weighty, too. This Good Smile, The Gutai series, I don't have a ton of experience with outside of the Firebirds, but this feels hefty and cool. It doesn't feel like a Figma, for instance. It feels like it's built to match the standard of those who designed it, Godbrave Studio. Look at that handsome Obari chiseled, handsome chiseled Obari face. He's looking all like he's some kind of distant relative of Braver, and also the neck can do that for, reasons. And it's on a ball socket, and the instructions even tell you can pop the head off, because there's a display stand coming out with extra vanity head things for modes we're not talking about today. As for the rest of the articulation, I mean... And over yonder, it's just a little bit of wiggly. There's one knuckle plate, there's a ball socket thumb. Technically, it's on a little ball joint, but that's more so for attaching alternate hands, which I'm going to talk about when we get to some of the vanity options later. Makes a decent fist, though, the Kanzen Henkei hand here. There's no waist. You saw this whole thing bisect open when I transformed it. That's kind of why. That also seems to just be a The Gutai thing, is one of the first joints that is sacrificed in this line often is the waist joint. It's a bit of a thematic thing, given these are 1990s Yusha toys being reborn in animation accuracy with all the love. But also there's no waist swivel. There is, kind of, if you undo the grundle clamp, a little bit of this. But I would not rely on that necessarily, because the grundle clamp actually does a lot of work to keep everything from re-bisecting. Once you get over here, though, I mean... Actually, it also can't go back. That's a very surprisingly limiting thing here. This is a byproduct of a mode we're not going to talk about today, but you still got this, and, And you heard him during transformation, but may I just mention again, and... Anyway, vanity parts. Let's say that for the sake of transformation, these things are a little bit more bulbous than they are in animation, and you're being a total freak about it. Well, guess what? You can just pop this off and flip these connectors up, and now this thing is like... maybe 17% slimmer, And you might think, like, hey, these fists, these honestly perfectly proportional fists, you're like, I want them to be more like the animation. Well, grab your handy fist rack that's included, pop off the necessary one. That little ball nub then sucks into that little socket. All the anime fist swaps are of a kind of nylon-y, semi-flexible plastic, although incredibly rigid when it's a solid fist like this. But the idea is you just pop it on, and I find that a little freaky because nowadays I'm less cavalier with my, you know, Figart's hand swap type stuff. This is really stiff to go. You might want to heat this up beforehand and actually, like, take better care of your things. Ugh. But once that's on, there is a bit of wiggle, just a little bit. And as you can see, we have the anime side, right? And then we have the Kanzen Henkei side. Can you severely tell a difference? Now that I've told you, yes, but if I just showed this to you at a glance, no, you wouldn't notice it. Don't lie to me. No, you wouldn't notice it. That's life without a little bit of extra vanity, right? Let's be a little vain. What's nice is that the Kanzen Henkei hands still have like a little tab inside the palm that matches with a little slot on the gun handle so that they're able to hold the guns quite happily. There are dedicated hands for this stuff, but I appreciate that Kanzen Henkei does not rob you entirely of function and feature. But, you know, you can always pop one of these things off. And, ooh, it just slides right in there, right? And, like, on the topic of getting them off, it's gotta arc it off and it pops off, and I think it's fine. And then the Kanzen Henkeis just slip on, you push and click, and it's right in there. Oh, this thing, by the way, the breaster jet, you can hide these away, and now it's looking like something else, isn't it? You can flip this thing up, and that looks like a whole relevant piece, doesn't it? Well, you can also click that down and flip these back a bit. It's all starting to look like something's happening. This thing, you can't really Kanzen Henkei this part. You just gotta pull that helmet off. But then you got some jet gatai happening, and this thing, that just works. By the way, these things can move up to get out of the way of the arm swinging up. The rocket pods here can swing up if you want to shoot rockets for some reason. It all just sits nice and happily like some additional mid-super mode bulk. And then the guns can actually form the famous Grand Cannon, like this, and then using a special singular hand that's designed for gun holding but is also arched forward slightly. How did I ever do this without, like, scripting and filming like a normal person? Stick that in there, and then with the arched sculpt here, you can grab this side handle, and you've got, like, the Grand Cannon, Grand Shoot, Grand Hisatsu, Super Kill Your, Blow Your Ass Up with Laser Gun stock footage mode. And it's kind of baller. It's pretty neat. It's pretty neat. Also, this skirt on the breaster jet can move up in tandem with the normal skirt down here. And as I mentioned before, since the rear skirts back here, these are unrelated rear skirts. Since the real inner rear skirts don't move back, this guy is more of a squatter than a thruster, because you can't slip the leg back a click for your classic crotch thrust. He's just squatting everywhere as he does his Cho Hisatsus and blows stuff up. But it's pretty dang cool, right? The Gatai really has won me over with this piece. Also, my very first Godbrave Studio piece. You might know them from some extremely obscure toy line called Metal Cardbot. Actually, that's how it should be. It's supposed to be an extremely obscure toy. Not anymore. Not anymore. Thanks, Gav. Thanks so much. Now everybody knows. Now all the sellers are charging a lot for Taki. Now all the Chinese blast trains are like 200 Canadian dollars. Thanks, thanks Arjun. Thanks Gav. Thanks Andy. Thanks, Sideswipe Prime! So my first sampling of Godbrave Studio is instead the higher-end, freaking Blast Train is like $200 out of AliExpress, but they're higher-end projects alongside Good Smile Company. I do plan to mess with some Metal Card Bot, though, and I might be doing that in future if things continue happily with this video's sponsor, JP Fans, who are the way that I got a hold of this discounted from dinged box, the Gutai Granbird. I've explained their services before, but for those who didn't watch the short, then let me give you a real simple rundown. Go watch the short. I'm asking you to look at a 3-minute vertical video. I mean, it's 2026. What's the big problem? Anyway, head by their site if you're interested. Use my referral link if you'd like to not only support the channel and
feed the machine,
and also get a big whack of coupons of some sort if you sign up with the aforementioned referral link. But you can use JP Fans to search on Mercari, on JDirect, on Amazon Japan, and use their middleman service in order to go hunting for these kinds of things. They'll receive and warehouse this stuff for you for a nominal fee, take some inspection photos for free at the time of this recording at least, and then offer a bevy of usual shipping options to finally send your pile of stuff your way, be it through couriers or EMS, whatever EMS is called now. It has a different name. Everything keeps changing. Are you sure you don't mean ECMS? I found the experience fairly smooth with my previous interactions with other middleman companies in mind. And thank goodness the thing that I got showed up here where I live so I could film this video. So if you're interested in trying them out, use my referral code. That's half the point of this video. And hey, if they like working with me, then maybe we'll do this again sometime. Maybe I'll dig around and see what kind of other Godbrave Studio things I can unearth from those various marketplaces. Or, just go looking for loose Dianauts to fill out all the empty pilot seats on my Diaclone reboot stuff. Anyway, this has been Internet Personality Evangelist. This has been a collaborative sponsored video in tandem with JP Fans. Use the referral code found in the video description or on my channel info if you're interested in trying them out. And low-key, I stream too, right? Like, you should click all the buttons that make sure that you get pinged when I'm streaming. I also post them on social media on, Blue Sky and Mastodon and Tumblr. But if you want to keep abreast of all the things I'm poking at and messing with, that's the easiest way, and the most efficient way. To the question of whether I intend to do a proper review of the Gutai, yes, of course. As with all things, it'll just happen naturally. When the seed has ripened, when the juices are seeping into the earth, when the mouthfeel is optimal.